After a 3-week home absence, Tigers got their title challenge back underway with an ultimately easier-than-it-looked victory over Ipswich. In front of a bumper crowd, Glasgow made a perfect start with 2 successive 5-1s, although guest Ryan Douglas almost allowed Danny King past him, after a mistake in Heat 1. Jack Smith followed this up with his first-ever Heat win in the reserves race with partner Tom Perry riding shotgun behind him. 3 shared Heats followed, with Nike Lunna twice coming in last despite being all over the back wheel of his opponents. Richard Lawson cleverly nipped past Rory Schlein on the second bend to win Heat 6, with Perry's third taking Tigers 10 up. Cameron Heeps was wheeled out on double points in Heat 7 but Aaron Summers won easily. Perry almost splitting the witches on the opening lap before falling back. Douglas won Heat 8 but Smith was at the back before Glasgow went back to being 10 up with a 4-2 in Heat 9. Worrell barging past Schlein on the back straight to win. Heat 10 was shared before a long tractor break and not for the first time. This seemed to unsettle the home side. Ipswich hadn't won a race up to this point but King took Heat 11 with Newman passing Summers on the back straight for a 5-1 and the lead was suddenly only 6 points. Worrell and Perry settled the nerves with a 4-2 before Ipswich returned the compliment in a hard-fought Heat 13, Lawson just keeping Schlein at bay for second. Lunna finally got going with a win in Heat 14 but Perry and Sedgman were having a battle behind him. Sedgman passed him on the final bend and despite Perry closing the gap down the home straight the witch got the verdict on the line. Tigers had won the match but were trying to avoid giving Ipswich the same bonus point they had picked up at Foxhall Heath earlier in the season. For a couple of laps it looked like they would pick up the 3-3 required but Worrell was passed by Schlein at the end of lap 2 and the Witches took a 4-2 to pick up the losing point. Despite only losing by 6, Ipswich never looked capable of winning. Indeed they had only 3 Heat wins all by Danny King but crucially they all resulted in Heat advantages. Tigers' lesser lights had problems against a compact top 5 of the opposition but they also did their job when it mattered, picking up points in Heats 2, 8 and 14 which resulted in the 6-point difference. It doesn't get any easier next week with the other Tigers of Sheffield visiting and they too have a good top 5. If you like this video please leave a like and subscribe.